Have you ever stopped for a moment to realize that this might be the very last Ramadan of your life? It is a terrifying thought, isn't it? While many of us are busy right now preparing our shopping lists, planning grand iftars, and worrying about food, there are people who are welcoming this holy month amidst hunger and fear. They are asking if they will survive the night, while we are asking what is for dinner. This painful reality forces us to confront a question we usually ignore. Who promised you that you would live to see the next Ramadan? Every single year, we make the same old promise. We say, this year, I will be different. This year, I will change. But then the month passes and we leave it exactly as we entered it, or perhaps even worse, with just a change in our eating schedule and more time wasted on entertainment. Why do we fail every single time? What is the secret that turns Ramadan from a month of hunger and thirst into a true turning point for your soul? Today, we are not just giving advice. We are going to walk through a practical, life-changing plan based on 7 profound Islamic principles. And you need to pay close attention because the concept of the tiger in the cage, which we will discuss, is the one secret that explains exactly why you keep falling into sin, even when the devils are chained. The first and most critical principle we must discuss is your entire perspective on what this month actually is. You have to ask yourself, how do I truly view this time? If you see it merely as a temporary shift in your calendar, where you simply flip your routine upside down, sleeping through the daylight hours to avoid the struggle of hunger, and then spending the entire night binging on food, entertainment, and wasting time, then you have fundamentally missed the purpose. This is not about pausing your bad habits until the sun goes down. It is about completely detaching from them. It is a time of spiritual minimalism, where you learn that you are the master of your desires, not a slave to them. Think about the profound logic here for a moment. Allah has commanded you to abstain from things that are essential for survival, like food and water. These are things that are normally lawful and good for you. If you are capable of saying no to your basic survival instincts for hours on end, how can you possibly justify saying yes to things that are forbidden? If you can stop eating, surely you can stop lying, cheating, or looking at things you shouldn't. You cannot remain at the entry level of your faith forever. You entered this path with a declaration of belief, which is the foundation, but are you really content with your spiritual state looking exactly the same year after year? Do you want your faith to be identical to someone who just converted yesterday? A true believer does not just stop at the bare minimum. They strive for a higher standard of consciousness, where they avoid not just the major sins but are terrified of even the small ones, because they understand that a massive mountain is built from tiny pebbles. Small mistakes accumulate until they darken the heart. This month is your opportunity to tame the wild, demanding ego inside you that always craves instant gratification. We all have that inner voice that wants everything now, but this is the training camp where you discipline that beast. Even if you have stumbled in your prayers recently or feel like you have drowned in mistakes, this is the moment for a complete factory reset of your soul. If you've made it this far, you're clearly serious about changing, so hit that like button and subscribe right now. Help us spread this message to millions who need it. Now, let's talk about strategy, because hope is not a strategy. You simply cannot enter this month relying solely on good intentions or the prayers of your parents without a concrete plan of your own. Imagine for a moment that you are the CEO of a massive company, and you know for a fact that next month is the absolute peak season, a time that will bring in record-breaking profits, more than the rest of the year combined. Would you just sit back, relax, and wait for it to happen? Absolutely not. You would be in the warehouse right now, organizing inventory, scheduling shifts, and obsessing over every single detail to maximize those gains. Ramadan is exactly that. It is the supreme season for your spiritual trade. It is the time to wash your heart and exchange temporary pleasures for eternal value. Therefore, you must enter with a clear schedule. First, look at your relationship with the Quran. It is not enough to just move your tongue through the pages while your heart remains disconnected. Reading without understanding is like a body without a soul. You need to read with the intention of letting the words actually change you, pausing to reflect on the meaning, rather than just rushing to finish a chapter. Second, and perhaps even more critical, is the preparation of your specific supplications, your dua list. Think about this. The Quran is Allah speaking to you, but dua is you speaking to Allah. Imagine having a private audience with the King of Kings who has promised to answer you, yet when that golden moment comes, you stay silent simply because you forgot what you wanted to ask for. That is a spiritual tragedy. You cannot leave your prayers to random chance or rely on whatever fleeting thought pops into your mind in the final. You need to sit down right now and write a comprehensive list of everything you desperately need for your health, your family, your future. This list will become your anchor. When your energy dips and your focus blurs during the day, this piece of paper will remind you exactly what you are fighting for, turning every moment of hunger into a powerful, focused plea for a better destiny. This brings us to the single most confusing paradox of Ramadan, the question that haunts us right now. If the devils are truly chained in this holy month, why do we still commit the exact same sins? Why do we still get angry, waste time, and lose focus? The answer is uncomfortable, but it is the only truth that will save you. Visualize a massive, starving tiger locked inside a heavy steel cage. As long as that beast is behind bars, it can roar and pace all it wants, but it cannot touch you. You are safe. Satan in Ramadan is exactly like that caged tiger, powerless to force you into anything. This proves that we can no longer use the devil as an excuse. The mask has fallen off and we are forced to confront the real enemy, our own undisciplined selves. And there is a second invisible killer called momentum. Consider the law of inertia. A sprinter running at his top speed cannot simply stop on a dime the moment he crosses the finish line. He will inevitably slide forward, pushed by the sheer force of his own motion. This is exactly what is happening to your soul right now. You didn't just walk into Ramadan with a blank slate. You came crashing in with the momentum of 11 months of specific bad habits. The hours you spent doom scrolling on your phone, the toxic language you use when you are angry, the gaze you didn't lower, the prayers you rushed through. That velocity is still pushing you forward. You don't just need to start Ramadan, you need to violently slam the brakes on your old self right this second, or you will skid through this entire holy month without changing a single thing about who you really are. This brings us to the fourth principle, radical self-awareness. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Most of us are walking through life with a blindfold on, assuming we are doing okay just because we aren't committing major crimes. But you need to perform a brutal, honest audit of your soul right now, because a shock in the mirror today is infinitely better than a shock on Judgment Day. Consider the companions of the prophet. They were the absolute giants of history, men and women of immense piety who sacrificed everything. Yet, despite their greatness, they trembled with the fear of hypocrisy. They constantly questioned their own sincerity and cried over mistakes that we wouldn't even notice. If the best generation felt that insecure about their standing with God, how can we, who are drowning in distractions, laziness, and shortcomings, feel so comfortable and safe? We are delusional if we think we can coast through this month without a serious reality check. Establish a non-negotiable weekly appointment with yourself. Let's say every Friday after the congregational prayer. Find a quiet corner, turn off your phone, and conduct a fierce interrogation of your own heart. Ask yourself 3 hard questions. What did I actually achieve this week versus what I planned? Where did I slip up and let my old habits win? And am I still on the path I promised Allah I would walk? If you find that you have drifted even an inch, steer the ship back immediately. This simple meeting with your own conscience is the only thing that will protect your Ramadan from becoming just another blurry memory of hunger and thirst. Now, you might be feeling overwhelmed. You might look at your past and think, it's too late for me. My heart is too black. That brings us to the 5th principle. The door is always open. No matter how deep you have fallen or how many times you have broken your promises to Allah, despair is not an option for a believer. But listen carefully. True repentance, tawbah, is not just saying sorry with your tongue. It requires 3 specific conditions. Deeply regretting the sin in your heart, stopping the action immediately, and making a firm resolve never to return to it. This Ramadan is your chance to rewrite your story, no matter how dark the previous chapters were. This brings us to the 6th principle, the power of tranquility, or what we call sakina. Have you ever noticed the absolute chaos that happens just before iftar? The streets are full of angry drivers honking their horns. People are shouting in the grocery store, and everyone is losing their temper simply because they are hungry and thirsty. This is a tragedy. It turns the holy month into a spectacle of bad manners. Fasting is not just about emptying your stomach. It is about filling your character with dignity. If you are fasting but you are rude, aggressive, or hangry, you have missed the spirit of the month completely. The Prophet taught us a profound social hack. If someone tries to fight you or insult you, do not engage. Simply say, I am fasting, I am fasting. Be the person who brings peace to the room, not the one who brings noise. And finally, the 7th and most urgent principle, the strong start. Do not fall into the trap of treating the first week of Ramadan as a warm-up period. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is, I am just adjusting to the hunger. I will start my real worship next week. This is a disaster. The The mercy of Allah is pouring down right now. The gates of heaven are open today. If you waste the first 10 days complaining about headaches, caffeine withdrawal, or feeling tired, you are throwing away a third of the month before you have even begun. You need to treat day 1 with the exact same intensity as day 27. Do not wait for the feeling to come. Force the feeling by acting. Clean your heart of any grudges you are holding against others, because you cannot ask Allah for forgiveness while you refuse to forgive people. Organize your time now, not tomorrow. If this video has moved something inside you, if you truly want to be among the winners this year, then I want you to make a pledge right now. Go to the comments section and write the phrase, "I am ready." Let this be your first step of commitment. May Allah accept your fasting, strengthen your will, and make this the Ramadan that saves us all. Assalamu alaikum.